Atlanta was already buzzing with aftershocks from the last fiasco between Yandy and Rasheeda, but when Yandy logged on and dropped a cryptic caption saying, "Screenshots don't lie, loyalty doesn't bend, the street's been new," the whole city froze. Those weren't just words, they were a declaration. Atlanta knows when somebody posts like that, it means a storm is about to hit, and this storm wasn't going to be subtle. The blogs went into overdrive, podcasts started running emergency, live streams and fan pages were already guessing what kind of receipts Yandy was sitting on. For weeks, the feud had been whispers, shade, and subliminals, but now Yandy was promising proof, and nothing sets Atlanta on fire faster than the word receipts. Within hours, an anonymous page started circulating something that looked like a voice note. The audio was muffled, but the voices sounded eerily familiar. A woman's laugh that fans swore was Jasmine, followed by a softer voice that people claimed was Rasheeda saying, "You're the only one who gets it." The words weren't much on their own, but perception in Atlanta doesn't need context. It just needs a spark. Fans immediately tied it back to Yandy's post and declared it as confirmation that Rasheeda had crossed lines, sneaking around and cozying up to Jasmine behind Yandy's back. Suddenly, Yandy's accusations from Spice's dressing room weren't just shade, they were starting to look like receipts. The streets exploded with opinions. Some sided with Yandy instantly, saying this proved her loyalty speech wasn't just paranoia. Others defended Rasheeda, claiming the audio was fake or edited, but the damage was already done. Memes started, popping up with Rasheeda's face next to Jasmine's, captions reading, "New besties," and "Sis traded loyalty for cocktails." The more Rasheeda stayed silent, the more fans filled in the blanks. Silence in Atlanta doesn't protect you, it convicts you. And Rasheeda was being convicted in real time, not by a judge, but by every gossip page, every podcast, every fan who had ever doubted her. Meanwhile, Yandy played it like a strategist. She didn't rant, she didn't scream, she just posted a simple carousel of pictures with her kids and her business ventures, her caption reading, "Family never fakes loyalty." It was calm, it was subtle, but everyone knew exactly who she was aiming at. The calmness made it worse for Rasheeda because it painted Yandy as the composed one, the woman with truth on her side, while Rasheeda looked messy by default. Every blogger reposted it, every fan dissected it, and suddenly hashtags like "a loyalty" over everything. And receipts don't lie were trending under Yandy's posts. Spice, who was already under fire for being the bone carrier, tried to laugh it off. She went on live saying she didn't know what the big deal was, that maybe people were reading too much into things. But the comments dragged her instantly. "Girl, you messy, you knew this whole time," one fan wrote. Another said, "Spice playing both sides again." No matter how much she blinked into the camera, smiling like she was above it, the fans weren't buying it. Her name became synonymous with stirring the pot, and the streets weren't letting her off the hook. Then came the screenshots. A blurred image of a group chat started floating around. 3 names at the top: Jasmine, Rasheeda, and one other blurred-out contact. The screenshot showed Jasmine allegedly writing, "Sis, people so pressed over our trip. Let them talk." Another message that fans swore was from Rasheeda read, "Yeah, they always looking for drama, just keep it low." Whether real or doctored, it was enough to set the internet ablaze. Screenshots spread faster than facts, and this one was a nuclear bomb. The blogs had a field day, titling their posts, "Rasheeda and Jasmine's secret group chat leaks," and Yandy was right all along. Kirk tried to step in quietly, dropping a vague caption under one of his gym posts. "Don't believe everything you hear. Energy don't lie." But fans weren't having it. They flooded his comments with clown emojis, bringing up his past scandals, dragging his history of cheating, reminding him that he had no credibility to defend anyone. Kirk's attempt at damage control only dragged Rasheeda deeper into the mud. The internet reminded him, "You weren't loyal to her, so don't talk about loyalty now." Yandy, still unbothered, responded with yet another dagger in the form of a caption, "Screenshots don't make themselves, and silence speaks louder than words." She didn't need to name names. Everyone already knew who she meant. The beauty of her game was that she let the streets do the dragging for her. She didn't have to curse, she didn't have to rant, she didn't even have to leak everything at once. She gave them crumbs, and Atlanta turned those crumbs into a feast. Fans began replaying old episodes, pulling old confessionals of Rasheeda, pointing out moments where she looked shifty around Jasmine, turning hindsight into ammunition. One fan tweeted, "Yandy been telling us, we just didn't see it." Another wrote, "Rasheeda loyalty card declined. Sis is overdrawn." The narrative was slipping further and further out of Rasheeda's control, and her silence was making it worse. By the weekend, Rasheeda finally posted something. A photo of herself with her kids, captioned, "I stand on family, I stand on truth, I don't stand on drama." But the comments tore it apart. "Then why your name in the group chat, sis? Truth don't hide, receipts do. Don't post your kids when you messy." What was supposed to be a soft defense turned into more proof for the fans that she was guilty. Meanwhile, Jasmine had yet to speak. That silence only made her more dangerous. Fans waited, speculated, and every day she stayed quiet. The rumors about her connection to Rasheeda grew louder. Anonymous accounts popped up claiming they had spotted them together in Atlanta lounges. More blurry photos surfaced, and every thread online ended with one question. When Jasmine speaks, what's she gonna say? And that was the cliffhanger. Atlanta leaned in, bloggers sharpened their knives, and fans prepared for the next eruption. Because Yandy had promised receipts, and what the city saw so far was just the beginning. If a blurry screenshot could shake Rasheeda this badly, what would happen when Yandy decided to drop the full, unedited evidence? Atlanta was already on edge, but when the blurry group chat screenshot refused to die, the city's obsession hit a fever pitch. Every gossip page reposted it. Every fan account zoomed in and circled words, and even the blogs that normally play neutral were picking sides. "Sis, that's Rasheeda's typing style," one fan wrote under a viral thread, while another argued, "Nah, this looks edited." But the truth didn't even matter anymore. The screenshot had taken on a life of its own, and in Atlanta, perception is louder than proof. And through it all, Yandy stayed calculated. She dropped another photo dump with a caption that read, "Screenshots don't make themselves. People expose themselves." The timing was perfect. It was just vague enough to let fans connect the dots, but direct enough to keep the fire burning. Rasheeda, on the other hand, was unraveling. Her silence was killing her, but speaking was even riskier. Every time she typed a note in her phone, Kirk was in her ear telling her to chill, to stay quiet, that it would blow over. But nothing blows over in Atlanta. Every second of her silence was read as guilt. Every post she made was dissected as distraction. When she finally posted a family picture with a long caption about choosing peace, the comments section erupted with accusations. Peace? After those messages? Not you running to family after betraying your friend? What she thought would be a soft defense only fanned the flames, and now her motherhood was being dragged into the conversation. That's the curse of reality TV. Once the streets decide you're guilty, everything becomes evidence against you. The blogs had a field day. "Yandy was right all along," screamed one headline. Another ran with, "Rasheeda loyalty exposed by screenshots." And fans weren't just talking. They were making memes. Old clips of Rasheeda's rainbow reunion dress resurfaced, with captions like, "Sis been disloyal since 2012. The ridicule was merciless. She wasn't just losing a friend in Yandy, she was losing her image, her credibility, and the little respect the public still gave her brand. Jasmine, meanwhile, finally broke her silence. She hopped on live one late night, her hair tied back, her tone casual, but her smirk giving everything away. She admitted that she and Rasheeda had been hanging out, but she insisted it wasn't as deep as people were making it. "Y'all be so pressed. We just friends. People grown, people can hang out with who they want," she said, sipping from her cup. But the way she laughed, the way she dragged out her words, made it feel like she was enjoying every second of the chaos. Clips from her live spread instantly, with fans screaming, "Sis loving this too much." Instead of clearing Rasheeda, her words made it worse, painting her as messy and calculating, someone who thrived off the tension. Spice, of course, couldn't stay out of it. The streets dragged her again, calling her the bone carrier, the one who planted the seeds and stood back to watch the fireworks. Old clips were dug up of her smirking in interviews, hinting at friendships that don't make sense. Fans accused her of knowing everything, of playing both sides, of being the real instigator behind the feud. She tried to defend herself, going live to say she wanted peace, but the comment section lit her up. Spice messy queen, always pretending. She innocent. Girl you knew and you liked it. Every attempt she made to distance herself only tied her closer to the mess. But the biggest twist came when another anonymous page leaked what they claimed was a second voice note. This one was clearer than the first. A woman sounding like Jasmine said, "Sis, just keep it low. They gon' believe what they want anyway." And another voice, allegedly Rasheeda's, replied, "Yeah, you right. I'm tired of pretending for cameras." Whether real or doctored, it hit like a bomb. Fans flooded Rasheeda's page demanding answers. What you pretending for cameras about? So you been faking your friendship with Yandy. This is worse than we thought. The narrative wasn't just betrayal anymore. It was deception. It was fakery. It was a storyline come to life outside of VH1 editing rooms. Kirk tried to intervene again, but his words only made things worse. He posted, "Energy don't lie. People lie." Fans tore him apart, bringing up every scandal he'd ever been in, every time he betrayed Rasheeda publicly. Sir, you the last person to talk about loyalty. You cheated on her with a whole baby. Don't speak on energy. His attempt at defense only reminded the world of Rasheeda's humiliations, and now her marriage was being dragged back into the spotlight alongside her broken friendship. Yandy, on the other hand, stayed on brand. She let the chaos unfold around her, never raising her voice, never losing her composure. She dropped subtle captions, posted family moments, and let her stylist and fans do the dragging for her. One of her posts simply read, "Loyalty is free, but some people can't afford it." That line alone trended, turned into memes, tweeted thousands of times, and shared on Instagram stories everywhere. Yandy was winning without lifting a finger. The blogs began calling it the loyalty war, and the name stuck. Hashtags like Fujart Yandy receipts, Arsh Rasheeda exposed, and Jasmine mess trended across platforms. Fans demanded more, thirsty for the final proof that would either clear Rasheeda or bury her completely. And Yandy, ever the strategist, teased that the best was yet to come. She posted a cryptic story with a blurred screenshot and the caption, "If they thought the first was bad, wait for the finale." Atlanta collectively gasped. If what they'd seen so far had Rasheeda drowning, what kind of bombshell was Yandy holding back? The tension was unbearable, the blogs were sharpening their knives, and fans were sitting on the edge of their seats. The loyalty war wasn't just messy anymore, it was historic. And everyone knew the final receipts were coming. Atlanta was holding its breath because everyone knew Yandy was sitting on something nuclear. She had already given crumbs, blurred screenshots, cryptic captions, little leaks through fan pages, but the way she teased, "If they thought the first was bad, wait for the finale," had the entire city on edge. The blogs treated it like a countdown, podcasts speculated on what she had, fans made TikToks guessing the receipts. Nobody wanted to blink and miss it, because in Atlanta, missing the drop means missing history. And when Yandy finally pulled the trigger, it wasn't with a rant or a screaming video, it was with a calm carousel post. Photo 1 of her smiling with her kids, Photo 2 of her business team around a conference table, and Photo 3, the group chat in full. Clear, unblurred, undeniable. The chat was between Rasheeda, Jasmine, and a third contact everyone assumed was one of their mutual friends. In the screenshot, Jasmine wrote, "Sis, people pressed about us. Let them choke." Then Rasheeda followed with, "Girl, Yandy always playing victim. That's why I stopped rocking with her. It's all for cameras." Another message had Jasmine, laughing, adding, "Exactly, she's so fake loyal, I don't know how people don't see it." Those 3 lines detonated like bombs. There was no editing excuse, no blurry defense. This was direct betrayal, caught in writing, with timestamps that lined up too perfectly with the Spice concert drama. Atlanta erupted. Hashtags flooded timelines. Rasheeda exposed, Jasmine mess, Yandy receipts. Within minutes, the screenshots had been reposted thousands of times. Every blog had them pinned, and fans screamed that Yandy had delivered the fatal blow. Rasheeda tried to respond, but every attempt made it worse. She claimed the screenshots were taken out of context, that it wasn't how it looked, that people were twisting things. But the comments tore her apart. Context? Sis, Your own words said she fake loyal. How many contexts does betrayal have? You can't outtalk receipts. The more she typed, the more the fans mocked her. Then she tried to pivot, posting about family again, but that only added fuel to the fire. Fans dragged her for hiding behind her kids whenever the heat got too much. And the worst part? A leaked email started circulating, allegedly from a fashion brand pulling out of a collab with her boutique because of negative image concerns. Whether real or not, the damage was brutal. People flooded her boutique page with clown emojis, calling her a fraud, and her rebrand, years in the making, was suddenly crumbling in a week. Jasmine, for her part, didn't hide. She went live again, but this time the vibe was smug. I laughed as people spammed her comments with clown emojis, sipping from her drink like the mess didn't faze her. She tried to play it off like she was unbothered. Y'all so pressed over who I hang with. If I want to chill with Rasheeda, that's my business. But the smirk, the way she kept reading comments out loud and laughing, turned the fans completely against her. They labeled her the new messy villain of Atlanta. Memes of Jasmine with captions like "professional homewrecker turned bestie" flooded Twitter. Instead of making Rasheeda look better, Jasmine's antics made her look even more guilty by association. Kirk once again couldn't help himself. He dropped another cryptic caption, "Strong women don't need the world's approval," and the internet dragged him to hell. Fans reminded him of his cheating scandals, the baby outside the marriage, every time he had humiliated Rasheeda publicly. Sir, not you trying to talk about strong women when you broke your wife on TV. His name started trending alongside Rasheeda's, and people joked that the Frost family needed a PR team more than a boutique. Instead of shielding Rasheeda, his interference reopened old wounds and tied her betrayal with Jasmine to their years of dysfunction. Meanwhile, Spice tried to stay quiet this time, but the fans didn't let her. Old clips kept resurfacing, her laughing in interviews, her telling Yandy, "Some friendships don't make sense," her neutral stances that suddenly looked calculated. Blogs ran headlines like, "Did Spice know all along?" and "The bone carrier caught again." Even when she tried to go live with her usual bubbly energy, fans spammed her comments with bone emojis. She couldn't shake the reputation of being the silent instigator, the one who enjoys watching chaos play out around her. Yandy, on the other hand, ascended. She didn't scream, she didn't argue, she just let the receipts sit. Then she posted a video where she spoke calmly, almost softly. Sometimes people you break bread with will turn around and break your back. But the thing about truth, it always shows itself. Loyalty is priceless, and once it's gone forever. That clip went viral instantly. Fans reposted it as motivation, blogs used it as their headline quote, and even people outside of love and hip-hop started sharing it as a life lesson. Yandy had managed to turn a messy feud into a branding moment, a career highlight, a storyline that painted her not just as the winner, but as the strategist, the woman who played chess while everyone else played checkers. The fallout was devastating for Rasheeda. Not only was she dragged online, but whispers in the industry said brands were pulling back, castmates were distancing themselves, and her credibility was shot. Fans declared she was finished, that she had picked the wrong side, that she had thrown away years of loyalty for a friendship with Jasmine that wasn't worth it. The humiliation wasn't just personal, it was professional, financial, cultural. She wasn't just losing Yandy, she was losing Atlanta. Jasmine, meanwhile, leaned into her villain role, but it only got uglier. She dropped subtweets, posted selfies with captions like "Unbothered Queen," and seemed to enjoy the chaos. But the more she leaned in, the more fans turned her into a punchline. Her name became shorthand for messy side character, the person who thrives off chaos, but never wins in the end. Instead of elevating her, the feud buried her reputation even deeper in infamy. The episode ended with Yandy dropping her final bomb. Another group of screenshots, this time showing Jasmine and Rasheeda shading not just Yandy, but Spice too. 1. Message read, "Spice messy, always pretending she neutral." That twist dragged Spice fully into the war. Fans howled that the loyalty war had no survivors except Yandy, who walked away clean. The hashtags shifted. Shaq Spice exposed, Shaq Jasmine mess, Rasheeda down. The loyalty war had started as shade over a BBL, but it ended as a total collapse of alliances. And through it all, Yandy stood tall. Her captions became the final word. Loyalty is free, but some people can't afford it. The streets always talk, but they don't ever lie. And the closing shot of her video, smiling calmly into the camera, became the image that sealed the feud in Atlanta's history. The streets declared their verdict. Yandy won. Rasheeda lost her credibility. Jasmine exposed herself as messy. Spice lost her innocence as a bystander. And Kirk? He dragged himself down with his wife. The loyalty war ended not with fists or screaming, but with receipts. And Atlanta will never forget who dropped them.